Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro. In this follow along, we're going to learn how to launch a Kubernetes cluster on DigitalOcean. So if you've never used DigitalOcean, they're kind of like a cloud service provider. I call them a third-tier cloud service provider because they were traditionally a VPS, a virtual private server, basically just virtual machines. And they've expanded to have a bunch of other stuff, such as Kubernetes. So I actually already launched a cluster on here. But I am going to show you how to create one. So DigitalOcean is known for being really easy to use. So if we go here and create a cluster, and we'll give a moment here. The idea here is we'll select our Kubernetes version. So they have recommended version, and then your location. So maybe I want Toronto. We have our VPC network. We'll have our node pool name. And then here it's going to say how many nodes you want. We're going to go down to 1 because we want to save money. And notice that it's making the recommendation of about 4 gigabytes. It says 2.5 of RAM usable, so I guess that's fine. You know, like I aim for like 2 to 4 gigabytes for worker nodes. Like if it's a single node, like we're doing with micro K8s on Cloud 9, then it makes sense to have 4 gigabytes. But here, two will do fine. Okay. So anyway, $20 a month, very cost effective. I don't even know if the control plane costs anything. DigitalOcean, Kubernetes. But here's the thing, is like Google made it free and then they took it away later on. So even if the control plane is free, like they might take it away later. I mean, I don't know Kubernetes pricing that well, so I can't say for certain. So I shouldn't say that absolutely, but I can't seem to find the pricing. But I think the control plane tier is free, I think. Unless one of the nodes is actually the whatever node. So anyway, friend downtime, that makes sense. So we'll have our name here, whatever we want to call it, and then we go ahead and create the cluster. And so we'll wait here a moment. And so here it will start to spin up, and it says it'll take about 4 minutes to create. Usually it has a message there. Yeah, and this is what I like about DigitalOcean is that they give you all the information you need right in place. So thank you for using thank you for using Managed Kubernetes. Your Kubernetes cluster is being provisioned. Provisioning usually is complete within 4 minutes. You can configure the cluster as you wait, and then you can go through these steps, and it tells you like how do you connect and all that kind of stuff. So that's really nice of them. And they have one-click installs, just like how we saw with IBM Cloud. I don't think we saw this for other providers, but like, I mean, like Google Cloud had that marketplace, so I guess they do. And I guess Azure, I don't know if we saw a marketplace for Azure, but it's nice if you want to just install a controller. And if we want to do anything, we probably would need an Ingress Controller if we can figure out how to use it. And so it's pretty clear. Okay. So I already have one running to save us time because I don't want to wait 100 years for it to spin up or stop the video and come back here. So I'm going to go into here. And notice I already spent $1 after a day, so it's not too bad. But if we go to resources here, we can see our node pool, and we can see the 2 nodes, I guess, underneath. And then there's a load balancer attached. So load balancers and volume should be managed, etc. We have any insights here. Just waiting for it to load. So we get some metrics, so that's nice of them. And there are some settings, and they also have a button for Kubernetes dashboard. So that's cool. I didn't notice that before. Only other provider I saw that did that was IBM Cloud, so I like that. So I like having that button there. But anyway, if we scroll on down, we might want to go install the Ingress Controller. So, because if we want to reach the internet, right? So just press that button, and it does take some time. And again, that's why I did this ahead of time, just so I don't have to be clicking 1,000 things here. But when we want to connect, the idea here is we need to install the Doctel Kubernetes cluster config thing, this thing here. So in order to do this, we're going to need an environment. So I'm going to go back to my AWS account. We're going to do it via Cloud 9, okay? We probably could even do it, oh, sorry, wrong account. This is developers, Andrew Brown. I should already be logged in here, but I'm not. Just give me a moment here. And I think this is the right password, so we'll just paste that on in there. Is it the right account? Nope. Nope. I have more than one account here. And, oh, it's this one. I have a lot of AWS accounts. So we'll get in here, and what we'll do is we'll go back to Cloud9. We could probably do this in the shell, but just in case we need an editor, could have went over to GCP, but we haven't done much in GCP, so I don't want to force you to be over there, okay? So we'll launch our micro K8s environment, and then what we'll need to do is install the Docker CTL, right? So they have a guide on that. And DigitalOcean is known for having really good guides. They're just known for it. And so they have a snap install, so that's pretty nice. So once it spins up, the idea is we're going to run this line, and then using Docker TL integration, kubectl requires kubeconfig. So I guess that would mess with our configuration with micro K8s. I'm just trying to decide here because you know what? I actually want a fresh environment. I don't want to mess with a micro K8, so we'll just say Docker env environment. Unless Docker has its own cloud shell. I don't think it does. It really should get one. That would be really smart. That's a Docker if you're watching, or sorry, not Docker, DigitalOcean if you're watching, go get your own like Git pods, you know? You can also do this in Git pods, but I don't want to switch right now. So this, we don't really need anything large because we're not actually running Kubernetes on it. So I'm just going to create this environment, and then we'll spin that up. And as that's waiting, we're going to just take a look at what our next steps are. So it says sudo snap install that, and I believe I choose Ubuntu, hopefully. And then using this integrations, but we could probably go over here and just run the next line. But we probably have to install kubectl as well, right? Snap runs it in complete isolation. You need to be grant permissions to interact with your systems. Some doc requires this. Requires kube. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. I'm sure it's not that hard, but we'll wait for this to spin up. While we're waiting, we might as well just poke around here. So I guess we already kind of looked at all this. There's nothing really new to look at. Come on, Cloud9. So we're going to have to download this config file for sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and download that now. And, oh, is it almost there? It's connecting. Okay, so now that we're in, we'll have to do sudo snap install kubectl and classic. So I'm starting to remember the sudo snap commands. And then for this one, it'll probably just be doctl. Okay. I guess it's DigitalOcean CTL is what it stands for there. And I guess we could probably do this, even though I'm not really 100% sure on it. Because I know when I tested it, I didn't do that. I had kubectl and doctl, and I ran the one line. Actually, I'm going to run this one because it says all I have to do is this. Access token is required. Okay. Doctl auth init. And so I need an access token. So from here, what we do is we go to the API. And from here, you can see I have a bunch. So I'm just going to delete these. And from here, we're going to say cube, and we'll create it. And this key is going to be temporary, so I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to end up deleting this, so it's not going to be a big deal. So I'm going to paste that in there, hit enter, and it says permission denied. So I'm going to do sudo in front of there, and then paste it again, and that's fine. So now if I do kubectl get pods, let's see if I get an environment. Connection was refused. Did you specify the host or path? Oh, you know what? It's because we didn't run that other line. So let's run this, because I think this is just an alternate way. So I think the documentation, didn't we just do that? What if we do sudo on this? Nope. What if we try this again, the auth? Token is valid. Grant. Oh, so Doctel config. Maybe we do have to run that other line. This one here. Okay. Paste. And then we'll hit up. Maybe we'll take out the sudo. Maybe it's getting confused because there's sudo there. Huh. Now I did this on my local host and it was like super easy. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, you know what? Are we in the right cluster? Hold on. Let me just double check here. Go back to our Kubernetes cluster. I want to make sure it's the one that already is running, which is, I want to do the one that's 1 day old here. Okay. And we will copy that again. And I will paste that in again. Okay. And I will run doctl auth init again. And I will go grab, oh, this is so frustrating. It's probably, my fault there. We'll just generate a new token. Oh, look, there's tokens here. Maybe it created these tokens? Tokens you have generated with the API. Oh, I'm confused. Okay, what if we do doctl? Oops. Let's do doctl kubectl. Is that something we could do? I don't know. I'll be back here in a moment, okay? All right, so every time we try to run doctl auth init, we get, even though I have an API key here, right? I copy and we paste it here. We get this silly error. So maybe we could just do mkdir home ubuntu. Is there a config directory? There isn't. So I'm just going to make one. Is that the one it wanted? Okay, and now what if we run it again? Maybe that's the problem. Okay, so ctl auth init worked that time. I'm not seeing any weird additional keys there. We're going to try this again. Using doctl snap, grant it via the doctl kubeconfig plug to use this command. So sudo snap this, so we'll try this now. Okay, and I wonder if this, nope, I'm just gonna refresh here because there was things popping up here and I don't know how they showed up in the API. Yeah, so there's this now here. I think this just was created when we ran that connect. Okay, and so we'll hit enter again. And for this, it says permission denied, so I'm just going to make it manually. I'm trying to copy it. 1 second, maybe just copy that. And we'll try this again. There we go. kubectl get pods. There we go. Okay, great. So now let's launch ourselves a deploy. So what we'll do here is type in kubectl deploy or create deploy nginx image equals nginx, and then oh, it already exists. So maybe I made it prior. kubectl get pods. All right, we'll do kubectl get svc because I might have already created a nginx cluster IP. So I'm just going to delete those because I was doing that previously and I didn't get rid of them. So delete svc nginx. Kubectl get ingress. I'm just wondering if I have anything there. So I did make one before. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we want to do now, so we have our pod, right? So we'll do kubectl get or create, or sorry, it's expose deploy nginx port 80, target port 80. So notice sometimes I do equals and sometimes I don't. You can do it either way, it doesn't matter. And then the port or the type or kind, or is it type? I think it's type, is node port. And then we'll just do kubectl get svc because I want to make sure that is a node port. There we go. I don't know if it has to be a node port, but that's the one I made. And so the next thing you do is install that Nginx Ingress Controller. Okay, and so then we need an ingress. So I'm just wondering if we can look this up on the docs here. So Kubernetes, I keep on saying Docker, but it's DigitalOcean ingress. Okay, so here they have a service, and this one's just cluster IP. It's not even node port. And then they have a deployment here, which is fine. And then they do a second one for some reason. Okay. They install the Nginx controller, so that's something that we did. So the Nginx controller consists of a pod and a service. The service is the type load balancer, etc. So I don't think we need to do this because we press the button and that's basically the same thing. Okay. And so then we need an Ingress controller. And the reason I'm looking it up here is because maybe there is a specific configuration to DigitalOcean, but it looks like just a standard one here. So what I'll do here, and I don't know if there's anything about this domain name stuff that we need to figure out. I think that's where I kind of ran into some issues where I wasn't sure what to do. I'm going to scroll up here. Is there anything about the domain name? A fully registered domain name is available. I don't really want one. I just want to deploy one without one. So what we'll do is we'll just copy the contents here. And we're going to go over here. It's no different than any Ingress controller for Nginx, I think. Okay, and we'll paste that on in there. And we're just going to take a look here. So one thing I don't want is I don't want the host. So what we'll do is take this out here. And then here for the service, I'm going to type Nginx. The path is fine there. This all looks fine. And so what we'll do is type in kubectl apply -f ingress. Okay. And if this works, what we're expecting to see is an address here. But I don't see one. And this was the problem I was running into where it wasn't resolving. Okay. So it says endpoints default HTTP backend not found. I don't think that matters. And it is pointing to the Nginx instance. I just don't know why we don't have, so like ingress address empty DigitalOcean. So notice that they're not using host, so they're saying it's empty as well. If you are using Nginx controller, you don't need to see the ingress address. Okay. When you install Ingress Controller to the cluster, it creates a load balancer to handle all your incoming requests. Make sure the below part is completed. So let's copy this because we could have installed it via Helm or hit that button. And so this will just confirm that it's installed. I'm pretty sure it is installed. Trying to make our way back to DigitalOcean. So we hit this. And so it is there. We can see the load balancer. I'm actually curious because I think that load balancers are in DigitalOcean. I don't use DigitalOcean on a regular basis, so I'm not sure. If we go to load balancers, did it create one? So it did create a load balancer for us. I'm just curious, does it have an IP address or a DNS host name? So maybe it made one for each one, and there are IP addresses, which is great. And so down below here, it says you should see an external IP address corresponding to the IP address of DigitalOcean load balancer. Okay. And so there's one there and one there, but we're going to look at what there is here. So this one has 10, 24, oh, sorry, external. 157, 230, 70, 53. Is that the one we're looking for? Neither of those match the load balancer. They're all 68. Okay. Well, even if it is, let's just go grab this one and see if that works. Because it says Ingress Nginx. I'm just going to double check that. This is Ingress Nginx Controller. It's not the same thing. SVC. Okay. Well, it's there, so it does work. And it is routing to Nginx. So it does work even though we don't have the address. It's just a lack of confidence because I just kind of expected the address to be there. But DigitalOcean wasn't too bad. So we'll go here and we'll go ahead and delete this. And hit destroy. And we'll put the name in here. Oh, we want the load balancer. I didn't checkbox the load balancer. But when we go destroy here, destroy. That other one didn't have any resources because that was the one that I just spun up to show you. And so because I didn't checkbox that thing, I'm going to go to networking here and just make sure I remove those because this probably costs something, I would think. So we'll hit destroy. We'll copy the name there and hit destroy. I don't know if there's any volumes lingering around, so I'm just going to double check. Nope. There's no droplets or anything. So yeah, that's all there is to it. And there you go. That's it.